Captain Williams stopped beside Sergeant Rodriguez, his tall frame casting an even longer shadow in the rising sun. The desert wind picked up for a moment, whipping fine sand across the parade ground, but no one moved. Williams' eyes cold, calculating, the eyes of a man who had stared down scopes at human lives for decades locked onto Maya's. "Chen," he said, his voice low but carrying the weight of absolute authority. "At ease." Maya shifted into parade rest, though every muscle in her body remained coiled. She refused to let her chin drop, refused to let them see the storm raging inside her. Williams held her gaze for what felt like an eternity before speaking again. 6 months ago, 23 candidates walked onto this range. 12 remain. That's a 50% attrition rate, higher than average. Most wash out because they can't handle the math, the wind, the distance, or the isolation. Some wash out because their hands shake when it matters. A few wash out because they realize, deep down, they don't have what it takes to look through glass at another human being and end them on command. He paused, letting the words settle. "You, Chen, have not washed out for any of those reasons." A ripple of surprise passed through the line, though no one dared move. Maya felt her pulse thud in her ears. Williams continued, "Your shot yesterday at 800 meters was off by 3 inches left wind gust you didn't fully compensate for after the third shift. In training, that's failure. In combat, that's a wounded enemy who now knows exactly where you are. Unacceptable. But let's be clear, every single candidate standing here today has missed at least one shot in the past 3 weeks. Including the ones who think they're God's gift to long-range marksmanship." Sergeant Rodriguez shifted uncomfortably beside him, but said nothing. "Your psych evals," Williams went on, flipping through the same manila folder, "say you overthink under pressure. Damn right you do. You think 3 steps ahead while half these boys are still trying to remember which way the Coriolis effect drifts at this latitude. Overthinking is only a liability if it paralyzes you. It didn't yesterday, you still took the shot. It was late, it was off, but you took it. That's more than some can say." He closed the folder with a snap. "As for being a distraction." Williams' voice hardened, and he turned slightly to address the entire line without raising his volume. "If any candidate here finds a fellow soldier's gender, race, height, or hometown distracting from the mission, then that candidate is the weak link. Not Chen. We don't coddle weakness in this program. We cut it out." Silence. Absolute silence. Williams turned back to Maya. "You're not washing out today, Chen. But you're on probation. One more missed target, one more hesitation that cost simulated lives, and you're gone. No appeals. No second chances after this one. You'll report to the 1,000-meter range at 1,400 for remedial wind calls with instructor hail. You'll shoot until you can put 5 out of 5 in the black under gusting crosswind, or until you drop. Understood?" Maya snapped to attention, her voice steady despite the fire in her chest. "Yes, sir." Williams gave the slightest nod approval, or at least acknowledgement, then turned to Rodriguez. "Get them moving, Sergeant. We've got live fire evals in 20 minutes. As the line broke into controlled motion, Maya allowed herself one slow exhale. The desert heat still burned, the dust still stung her eyes, but something had shifted. She wasn't out. Not yet. And she'd be damned if she'd give them another excuse to try. The sky was still bruised with night when Maya settled into the prone position on the firing line, the cold sand seeping through her uniform as she unfolded the bipod of her M24. A faint breeze stirred from the west 5, maybe 7 miles per hour, then died, then shifted again, teasing her like it knew exactly how much the single round mattered. She adjusted the sand sock under the stock, feeling the familiar weight of the rifle settle against her shoulder. Through the Leupold scope, the target appeared, a standard E-type silhouette, torso-sized, placed behind a low berm that offered only partial exposure. 1,200 meters. One shot. No spotter. No do-overs. She began her ritual. Breathing in for 4 counts, hold for 4, out for 4, slow, deliberate, forcing her heart rate down. The observers in the tower were silent shadows behind glass, she could feel their eyes even at this distance. Rodriguez's disapproval radiated like heat. Williams watched without expression. Wind call. She watched the mirage dancing above the desert floor, slight angle from 2 o'clock, light boil. Then a puff of dust rose near the 800-meter marker, drifting left to right. The breeze was picking up, inconsistent, gusting in short bursts. She clicked the windage knob 2 minutes right, then paused. Another shift. She dialed back 1 click. Better to undercorrect than chase ghosts. Range, confirmed 1,200 meters by the laser the armory had allowed her to use during zeroing the day before. Elevation, 14.25 minutes up for the 175-grain Sierra Match King load in this altitude and temperature. She had memorized the dope chart months ago, it lived behind her eyes now. Her cheek welded to the stock. Crosshairs settled center mass. The silhouette wavered slightly in the mirage, but the reticle stayed steady. She became aware of nothing else, no cold, no audience, no fear. Only breath, trigger, target. Natural respiratory pause. The trigger broke clean. The report rolled across the empty range like distant thunder. Through the scope she watched the trace arc, a faint silver line against the dawn, then impact. Dust puff just left of center. A heartbeat later, the metallic clang of a solid hit echoed back clear and unmistakable. Center torso. Lethal. Maya stayed on the glass a second longer, confirming the hit, then slowly lowered the bolt handle and cleared the chamber with deliberate care. Only then did she allow herself to exhale fully. Behind her, the tower remained silent for several long seconds. Then Captain Williams' voice carried down, calm and even. Hit confirmed. Center mass. Good shot, Chen. Rodriguez said nothing at all. Maya rose to her knees, slung the rifle, and came to attention facing the tower. The first rays of sunlight broke over the hills behind her, painting the desert gold. Williams stepped to the railing. Welcome to the program, sniper candidate Chen. You just graduated the hardest part. A faint smile, almost imperceptible, touched the corner of his mouth before he turned away. Maya didn't smile. Not yet. But something tight and knotted inside her chest finally loosened. 1 shot. She had made it count. Captain Williams stopped a few paces away, hands clasped behind his back, the morning light catching the silver oak leaves on his collar. Rodriguez lingered a step behind, arms crossed, his face a mask of reluctant acceptance. That was exceptional marksmanship, Williams repeated, his voice carrying the same measured calm it always did. Textbook shot placement under difficult conditions. 1,200 meters, variable full value wind, rising thermals, and you threaded it dead center on the first and only round. Most graduates don't shoot that clean on their best day. He paused, studying her the way a sniper studies a target, searching for tells, for weakness. Maya stood at attention, rifle slung, sweat cooling on her skin in the growing heat. She said nothing. There was nothing to say until she heard the verdict. Williams glanced sideways at Rodriguez, then back to her. "Here's the truth, Chen. Your scores over the past 3 weeks have been trending down. Not dramatically, but enough to raise flags. Your evals noted hesitation, overcalculation. Some of the staff believed you were cracking under the sustained pressure of this course. Sergeant Rodriguez recommended immediate washout." Rodriguez didn't flinch, but his jaw tightened. "I disagreed," Williams continued. "Not because I think standards should be lowered. Never that. But because I've seen what real hesitation looks like, and that wasn't it. You were thinking deeply. And sometimes the ones who think deepest are the ones who deliver when everything is on the line." He took one step closer. "That shot just proved my point. You didn't rush. You didn't flinch. You waited for your window and you took it perfectly. That's not luck. That's discipline. That's the kind of sniper I want covering my people downrange." A long breath of desert wind swept across the range, stirring dust around their boots. "Effective right now," Williams said, "your probation is terminated. You remain in the program. You'll continue with the rest of the class through graduation in 6 weeks, and when you pin on that sniper tab, you'll have earned it the hard way, harder than most." For the first time, something like warmth entered his tone. "You proved you belong here, Chen. Not because of quotas or politics or anyone's agenda. You proved it with one perfect round at 1200 meters when failure meant going home. Remember how that felt. You'll need it again." He offered a crisp salute, rare from a captain to a candidate, which Maya returned sharply. Then he turned to the other officers. "Let's get the range reset for the rest of the class. We've got stalks and moving targets this afternoon." As the group moved off, Rodriguez lingered for a moment. He met Maya's eyes, gave a single curt nod, not quite approval, but acknowledgement, and walked away. Maya stood alone on the firing line, the echo of the shot still ringing faintly in her ears. She allowed herself the smallest exhale. 6 more weeks. Then the tab. Then the real work would begin. "Specialist Chen," Colonel Harrison repeated, stepping forward and extending a hand. "May